Welcome to the Good Work Club. I'm your host, Callie, and this is a space where we talk to women who genuinely love what they do. Not just the highlight reel, but the real story behind it. So if you're building something, dreaming about something, or just trying to figure it out as you go, you're in the right place. So let's get into today's episode. Today, I'm joined by Camille Manaois, a senior social media account executive based in Las Vegas. She's known for her work ethic, her creativity, and describes herself as a Gen Z corporate girly who loves her job. She's been featured in CNBC Make It and Business Insider. In this episode, we're talking about the corporate world, the creative world, and her unique path, and what it really looks like to stand out in a crowd. I'm so excited for you to hear this, so let's get into it. Okay, hi Camille.
Hi.
Welcome to the pod.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, it's nice to meet you.
Yes.
I've never met you officially, so this is exciting.
Yes, I know. I love it. I'm so excited to be here.
Yes, but we have mutual friends, and I love Haley and Cameron. So, wait, how do you know Haley and Cameron?
So, Cameron and I knew each other growing up. We both were born and raised on Maui, but we knew each other through friends, and so we never were friends like individually, but we'd see each other everywhere. And then it wasn't until I moved to Vegas and she invited me to church, and she tried twice to invite me to church, thank goodness. And then I said yes, and then we've been like all inseparable ever since. It's the best. They're amazing.
We love a persistent queen.
Yes, we do.
Cameron's the best. We like to bully each other. I don't see her often, but when I do, I'm like, great, we're going to banter.
I know. And we ended up actually working together because when we first met, she was like, oh, I want a new job. And I'm like, oh, you should apply to where I was working previously. And we worked together for we overlapped, I think, a year, maybe a little less. And it was the best. We saw each other every day, had lunch together every day.
Aw,
it was awesome. Yeah.
Love that. Love that. Love working with besties.
Yes.
So a little icebreaker I ask everybody. When you were a little girl, what did you want to be when you grew up?
I wanted to randomly be a fashion designer for some reason, and I don't know why. No one in my life was doing that. So I don't know what was so fun about it. I think I vividly remember those books of when you draw dresses or cut things out.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think I just enjoyed that. I don't think I enjoyed anything else. I wasn't sewing or anything.
Okay.
But my Nana was a sewer, but she wouldn't make clothes. So I really don't know where that came from. My sisters and I all went through this phase of wanting to be a teacher at some point because our parents are teachers. Okay. And then my grandparents were also in education, so we were surrounded by that, but my parents gently guided us elsewhere just because of just to spread our wings and diversify a little bit. And so we all ended up not being teachers, but it wasn't until high school I kind of settled in on business, and I thought I could be really good at it.
No, that's awesome. I applaud your parents for saying, hey, go see what else is out there. Because even though I've seen the positives of parents having an impact, whether they're a lawyer or an entrepreneur or a doctor and they want to do what their parents do, I think it's really cool that they said, hey, wait a minute, find what you love and go spread your wings.
Yeah, and try it.
So that's awesome. So you have really supportive parents.
Yes, I do. And what
a gift.
Yeah, and thank goodness, because they basically told us college is not an option, we're going, so all of us really knew that was the end goal, and it was amazing because that's how we left Maui, and otherwise you typically don't have an excuse to, so it was great that was the goal, and it was always the goal, and we all got to leave for 4 years, and we're all in random spots now, so
that's so fun.
Yeah.
What was it like growing up on an island? I can't even imagine.
It's like every other small town. It's the typical stuff that you would expect, but Maui's very slow. If you visit Oahu, that's the city. A lot of people compare it to LA because it's busy.
Traffic,
and it's cramped. Yes, and it's kind of, they made highways where you're not supposed to have highways, right? So it's really cramped. But Maui is a lot slower. Things close early. Things open early, right? So it's a lot of fun, and I choose to not live there because it's too slow for me, and because I love my job, I love my career, and I think if you're not in love with kind of chasing that, then Maui's perfect for you. I think if you're okay growing your family early and having the same things all the time, I think it's for you, and if you love the beach, obviously, but for me, loving my career, I couldn't go back yet.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So would you go back?
This is another caveat too. A lot of multi-generational living in Hawaii because it's so expensive. So I love my parents. I just don't want to live with them.
Nothing wrong with that.
I love having our own space up here, and so I don't know, one day, like if
One
we had
day
our own
maybe.
space and like I'm ready to slow down, but not yet. Not with like the way our careers are going and stuff like that.
That's fair. I mean, you're in your thriving, building,
Yes.
successful business girly era.
Yeah.
So you embrace that because
Yeah.
it is a specific moment in time. So you do that.
Yes.
I love that. So what year did you graduate high school?
I was in 2018.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you grew up with social media.
Yes.
Because I gotta pull out my gray hair. I graduated in 2011. Instagram didn't come out till my senior year, and we were just posting plants, and it was not what it is today. So we'll get into your career, but obviously you said fashion designer and then business. So what the role that you're in now, I want you to explain it a little bit and then tell me your journey into that role.
Yes. So I'm a senior social media account executive for a agency out here that we do social media and PR. We do hospitality, restaurant, and lifestyle clients. So my role right now is taking clients. I'm leading meetings. I'm making content. So I'm editing. I'm sometimes on-site filming. I coordinate the photo and video shoots. I help with strategies, so quarterly strategy, or if they have upcoming promotions. So like a good example would be America's 250th for 4th of July this year. It's a huge thing for hotels across the nation, trying to capitalize and, you know, give really fun room offers for guests or just trying to celebrate 4th of July in like a completely different way. So that's like, you know, we create a full strategy for that. We are working with our graphic designers to present, you know, like graphics and logos and all these really fun things. And then on a daily basis, kind of the boring stuff, but I'm doing community management. So answering all the DMs, comments, posting on stories, posts, all those good things. So yeah, that's kind of like my day to day, but agency life is so much different than what I was doing previously. So like in-house marketing where, you know, I'm only working for that company, and then an agency now I have like 6 clients. So now I'm, you know, trying to manage all their branding, all their promotions. It's a lot, it's faster paced. And like, that's where a lot of people have a connotation about agency life when you work in marketing, because it is really fast. So it's not for everyone, like definitely, but I kind of knew I always wanted to be in an agency. So it's working out and I love it. Yeah.
Awesome. And is this
really
a remote position?
I'm hybrid right now.
Okay,
So I'm, in person 3 days a week and then remote 2 days a week. It's like the best schedule. I love it. It's so nice because then you're like getting ready some days, then you're like relaxed the others.
Girl, let me tell you,
the
best
flexibility
of both worlds.
Yeah,
Hannah Montana.
it's amazing.
It is, because when I have worked completely remote, sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, I am in my jammies all day.
Yes.
I'm so uninspired.
Yeah.
But then when I go somewhere 5 days a week, I'm like, I don't like this
Yes.
either.
Yeah.
So truly, that hybrid life is awesome.
It's really nice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So the job you had before this, the position you were at, was that more corporate desk?
Yes.
You go in just for that company.
Totally.
How was that life?
So before I went back into social media, I was doing marketing project management. So completely different. And so that's kind of where this whole like journey doesn't typically make sense. But because I freelanced since I started my corporate like journey, I was able to say, hey, I did social media for 3 years. So at the same time, I could kind of present myself in both avenues. So when I was looking for a job, I applied to project management roles, but also social media, because I technically have both experiences and I love both. So project management is a lot more timeline driven. I'm not as creative. I'm actually trying to coordinate between, okay, I'll give the example of the America's 250th promotion again. So let's just say my company needed something like that. I would go, you know, I would look at our team's workload right now. I would say, hey, our graphic designers can only work on this like they need to wait till mid-June to start it because they have X, Y, and Z and on their plate and they can't prioritize this right now. So what else is going to give so that they can start what you need? So I like have those conversations, which was a lot of fun because I love problem solving, and I thought I was really good at it. Like I loved it. And then I love like working with a team and trying to figure out what problems we can solve with like systems and operational systems. So that was a lot of fun, but yeah, I'm completely shifted now. So like I'm completely more creative now. I'm still project driven and like timeline driven, of course, but not as I guess like the leader of the orchestra, so to speak. Like now I'm like doing it
more hands-on.
leading. Yeah, exactly.
So which one do you prefer?
I would love to go back into project management when I'm like ready to slow down a little bit in my career, but social media is so fun and I would rather capitalize on that now, like while I'm young and like want to do that.
Yeah.
And then project management will always be there. Like it's such a niche role that I never thought I would ever do, but it really worked out. So I could always see myself going back.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Why not have your options?
Yeah.
Love it. What did you major in? Was it business? Was it marketing?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I went to San Diego State. I majored in marketing and I minored in communications. The minor was just for fun. Like I really didn't need to do it, but I loved those classes. Yeah, I was always in marketing. I never switched. And like typically you'll hear people like, oh, I had to switch. Like, I don't know. I just wasn't sure, but I was always sure. Like I loved my classes and it was really interesting.
That's cool. Did you know anyone that was in marketing?
Actually, no.
Really?
So, yeah, now that you say that, when I was going, actually, okay, there was a point in time during COVID when that was like my point to switch my business like focus, because you can take business classes for the first 2 years of college and then you can choose your like focus by your junior year. So like I could technically still be switching like midway into college. So I did have like a career interview with this family friend. She's in finance. And so I just asked her like, what's your day-to-day life like? Even though I knew I did not want to do finance. But I talked to her about it because, I mean, there's great money in finance and like there's not a lot of women doing it. And so she told me about her experience and I was like, okay, still not for me, but at least like I had the conversation and I was confirmed to stay in marketing. But yeah, no one else was in marketing. My parents were... my dad's a elementary counselor. My mom was a middle school librarian. She's now a college and career counselor. And then I had grandparents who were like a principal, second grade teacher. Yeah, so a lot of like roles that marketing was not a thing in my family, and I feel like it wasn't a thing in Maui either. So that's like kind of where I was like, I kind of knew I knew from before I left college, I probably wouldn't go back immediately, because if you work in marketing in Maui, you're probably gonna work for a hotel, which is fine, but I think it's not as creatively fulfilling. And then you might end up at a bank, which is again fine, but like not for me. And then a lot of people just end up becoming a teacher because it's like, well, what else can I really use it for? And so again, like, no hate to people who had to do that, but like it's just not like for me. I just like knew I wouldn't want to be in any of those like sectors right away. So that was another reason why I didn't go back.
That's fair though. Sometimes you have to figure out what you don't want to lead you to what you do want, and it's a process, and you figured it out. So that's awesome, because you seem very passionate about it. I think it's funny because you are very creative from what I've observed, but you also have this analytical brain. And it always baffles me when I see like creative and like girl. Don't put me in school ever. I couldn't last a day. I hate school. I mean, I didn't go to college, but just regular school, I did not like it.
I didn't like it either, actually.
Cried during math class.
Yeah, I really...
What is this?
No, I actually really didn't like school, and it was hard because my older sister is so smart. She became a civil engineer. She is brilliant.
Okay, engineer.
And I like made it my whole life's mission to be like so different from her. So like I went to a different middle school.
Is she your only sibling?
No, I have a younger sister too, and she's also brilliant too. She's going to school for her to be a physician's assistant. So like they're both so smart. And something I noticed like early on was like, well, I love public speaking. I'm so social. I love leadership. I was like in student government for most of school. I was athletic. Like I really thrived on like all social aspects of school. Like, and I was recruiting people. Like I remember,
wow, a natural recruit.
Yeah, I remember, being in student council, and it's like, we need more boys. Like we need more like guys to do this. And so like a church friend that I grew up with, I was like, hey, you would be great at this. It would look great on your college resume, and like it's so easy. And like, so I feel like that aspect of school I like loved, but like actually doing it, no, I agree. I was not that great at it at all. I really had to try.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Is the middle child syndrome real?
Yes. Very real. Like so much so I'm like determined to not have 3 kids.
Girl, I'm trying to have only 1 kid.
Yeah.
So like I don't want them to deal with comparison or me having to share my love. I know that's so silly.
I know.
But
I know.
I just
I know. And I loved it because it challenged me to like be more vocal, and I was definitely the most emotional because I was kind of like the mediator growing up, and I was definitely like always the one like that I hated problems. So if there was something going on, and even with my friends in that dynamic, I'd be like, you guys need to figure this out. Like I always was trying to like
Is that where the
mediate.
problem solving came from?
I think so. Like I really am not comfortable with like
Conflict?
Yeah, because I'm like, just fix it. I don't know. I'm like really not patient with that type of thing. I'm like, you need to fix this.
Say just fix it. I'm like, conflict, and I run the other way. Yeah. So at least you're like, hey guys, figure this out. Because are you like a peacemaker?
Yeah.
Is that?
I think so. But I'm not so emotionally driven in that aspect. Like, have you taken the Enneagram?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a 3-wing 2, I think.
Oh, I think I am too.
Oh, really?
No, I'm a 2-wing 3.
Okay, and I think 2 is the piece.
2 is the like
encourager?
kind of like the encourager type vibe.
I haven't like looked at it in a long time.
That's hilarious though.
Yeah. Like I was driven more by like the success of it.
Oh, like the drive of like accomplish. Yeah. I get you. Okay.
So I think that's where I'm like trying to fix things. I don't think I'm fixing things because I want everything to be like smooth all the time. I think it's like I just want, you know, you guys to just fix this and like move on.
Move forward.
Like, I'm ready to move on.
You don't have time for nonsense, basically.
I'm ready to move on.
You're like, enough, no time for nonsense. No, thank you. Oh, that's amazing. So you have all sorts of fun little ventures and side hustles. I want you to kind of tell me about all of them. You've explained about your job a little bit, but if you want to go deeper into it, what you do, I mean, you've pretty much said. But your boss is in Miami, right?
Yes.
So they're just trusting you with everything out here. That's pressure.
I know. So like from a young age, like I loved making money. I got my first part-time job at like 15 and a half. I worked at PacSun. It was the best. I made barely any money, but it was enough for me to like go out and to like the movies and not have to ask my parents for money. And like I said, I was the most social of my sisters. Like I went like out with my friends more than my older sisters, so they were like, well, we can't just like give you the most like money to do whatever you want to do. So like I was like, okay, I'll get a job. So I worked part-time all throughout high school, and then like I was always trying to figure out, you know, from an early age I was like, okay, money gives you freedom. So when we were going to prom and we were like staying in a hotel room, because Maui has all these hotels that are just like 30 minutes like away from where everyone lived. That's where the prom was. So we like rented a room. To pay my share of it, I sold scrunchies. Like I sewed scrunchies, and at the time I was playing soccer, so all these girls were like wanting a scrunchie. I'm like, okay, you have to pay me for it. So
entrepreneur.
So yeah, I made little scrunchies. It was probably not the best sewing quality, but I was 17, and then that's how I paid my share of the hotel. So like I think from an early age I was like, okay, I can like make some fun things on the side, you know. And then in college it never really fazed me. I did have a podcast with Taylor. It's called Fun Size Podcast. It's still up actually.
So cute.
Yeah, because everyone called us Fun Size in middle school when we met. Like we're so short, and so
how tall are you?
We were like best friends. I mean, I'm 5'1". Taylor's shorter than me.
4'11".
Yeah. So I don't know.
Queens.
I mean, I was really petite in middle school. Like I was really, really tiny. So I think at the time it was like, I guess a little more accurate. But we just like talked about silly things. We never made a dime off of it. And then I always was like working part-time in college, all that stuff, but it was never anything freelance or creative like that. Then when I moved to Vegas, started working full-time, I realized how much free time I had. Not being in school, I don't study, I'm not reading about anything, I'm not in any organizations anymore, and I was kept really busy. Like from a young age, my parents involved all of us in sports, in leadership, in it's something called 4-H. It's kind of like Girl Scouts, but you're doing a little bit more like home ec type of things. So like sewing, cooking,
I could have used that.
Public speaking. Yeah. So we were in that, like we were really involved, and like we grew up in the church, so we were serving all the time. So I was really busy all the time. I got into corporate world and I was like, oh, I have a lot of free time. Like this is kind of scary. Like what do you do with your free time? And then I was like, well, at the time, social media and Maui small businesses, a lot of people in Maui will start a small business to make some extra income because of just how expensive it is to live there. And there was this brand called Vaivaulani. They're a Hawaiian printed hand sewn business. It's like shirts and dresses, jumpsuits, like very beautiful pieces. And I knew the founder through family, and I was like, hey, I'm willing to like do some videos for you if you want to like send me some product. Like I think you need some of those videos like on your feed. We had like those conversations, and I had like maybe 3 clients like that of just UGC. And so they would send me their stuff from Maui, and I would do videos for them and stuff. That's when I learned quickly I didn't like UGC. It's challenging because I work 5 days a week. So, you know, the peak great lighting, like all those little things that you need, I could only do on the weekends. And I'm like, I don't want to work on the weekends either. So quickly after that, I pivoted to do only editing. So what I do for Haley too is she'll send me all her content and I'll edit for her and give her some reels for the month. And so it's a really quick way for me to like make some extra money. It takes me no time at all. And for me, it's very easy. But for business owners, they're like, I don't have time to edit. I love to film. I don't want to edit. Right. So that's where Haley and I work well together. I also began YouTube editing actually because I learned Premiere Pro at my previous job. So over the holiday season, when you work in corporate, it's either super busy and it's like unbearable, or it's so boring because everyone's gone and there's nothing happening. So I was in the environment where it was so boring, nothing was happening. And that was my first or second year being in corporate world. So I wasn't going home to Maui. Like, I wasn't taking 2 weeks off at the time. Like, that's just not what I was doing. So I taught myself Premiere Pro, and I began editing like my own stuff for YouTube. But then I also found a YouTube editing client, and that was so fun because there's ways to be creative in a long form video, which you like never would think. But Evie, the girl I was working with, she's so creative, and she was like, oh, how about these sound effects and the text,
the pop-ups and all these,
when music starts and stops, like all these different things. And I was like, oh, it's like crazy because she opened my mind to like edit more creatively too. So I was doing that for a bit, and then with this new role, I was like, wow, I'm busy. Like now I'm taking up like some work nights because I'm at shoots or I'm at events. And so I was like, you know, I'm like trying to slow down the freelance aspect of my life. So at this time, I'm like not taking any new people. I actually like pivoted my Instagram account to be more corporate because I just got married. So like there's just so many things going on that I'm like, I just want to slow that aspect down. Like I really don't like need it to survive. And like I also had to pivot and think, am I doing this for the right reasons, or am I doing this because it's like helping me make extra money? So there was like also that battle that I still kind of have sometimes. But so I am like pausing that for now. But it's
Create
been
with Camille?
so for freelance reasons.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I mean, it gave me so many opportunities, and like I said, if I wasn't freelancing, I probably wouldn't have the job I have right now. So it was so worth it in the long run to like do that. And even if it was so small scale and like really personalized, it still was great experience.
Yeah, you get your reps in.
Yeah, that I wouldn't have gotten if I was just relying on my full-time job.
100%. Yeah. I love how also you just kind of try anything that gets thrown at you. You're like, UGC, why not? Hey, DM this person. Like, you don't wait around for opportunities to come to you. Yeah. You make them happen, which is really cool. And people need to take note. Yeah. Because sometimes people think, oh, that just falls into their lap. It's like, no, you don't know what this person's doing, what they're saying yes to, what they're trying at, what they're failing at. Like, sometimes you just have to go for it.
Totally.
And see what doors open.
Yeah.
So you do have a YouTube channel.
Yes.
Which I was creeping on. So who were the YouTubers that you looked up to? Because I grew up.
Oh my gosh, I love this conversation.
I
need to know yours.
Well, I didn't like grow up. I wasn't, you know. I grew up with like Hillary Duff and Mary Kate and Ashley. Like, I'm a 90s baby. But when YouTube started to get bigger, I know she canceled herself, but I loved Jenna Marbles. I loved her.
Oh
I was
my
like,
gosh.
I could talk.
Do you remember Miranda Sings?
Yes. Oh. Yes. She's another one that I canceled
reference
too.
her sometimes because I'm like, oh my gosh, it was so good. Like, but so niche. And like sometimes I'll say it and my husband will be like, what are you saying? I'm like, no, it's Miranda Sings. Like,
it's like those
so
OG
funny.
people that paved the way.
So
and
funny.
They weren't really getting paid at the time, and then eventually they were, and then they just kind of dropped off the face of the earth, which is 100%, so crazy. Yeah. But yeah, it was so weird to see just that transition of YouTubers, content creators, Vine. It happened all before my eyes. I mean, again, I was in my 20s. I mean, from 2016 to 2026, so much has changed in the content creation space.
100%. Yeah.
So, I mean, the possibilities are endless. That's why I'm like, come on, people. Like, life is too short to hate our jobs or to not like start that business or do whatever you want. Or to do it all like you do, because I know sometimes corporate gets a bad rep, and I feel like a lot of times I interview people that like leave corporate, but there's a lot of great benefits to it. There's a lot of great benefits.
I know. So when I was graduating college, like the concept of freelancing to me to support a full-time salary was like, oh, that just sounded like wild to me. Like, that's crazy. I think the lack of stability really scares me, and so that's why I never actually took the jump. And like I'm fully like okay saying that. Like I actually love getting a consistent paycheck. I get a consistent paycheck even if I take PTO. I get health insurance. I get paid time off. I have holidays. You know, like even those little things that you kind of forget about because you're like that whole concept sounds very structured, but it's great, especially like for me being young and like not wanting to like take that full-time leap. I always actually had the intention of freelancing to go full-time, but I never felt like it was time, and I always felt like it wasn't consistent enough for me to be like, oh, it's getting somewhere. And then every time it got somewhere, I'm like, but I'm working a lot right now. So that transition I never actually wanted to commit to. So I'm like fully okay like saying that, because it's like I just like wasn't ready. And I love having a team. I really, really like having a boss actually. And like I've had bosses who completely poured into my career. So, and that's how I knew I could be a project manager. You know, like I would never identify that in myself if I didn't have someone consistently tracking my progress and tracking my needs. Like people saw that in me before I could identify that. Like I didn't know that was a job. So even having that guidance is to me invaluable. And I think a lot of people who are younger, when they think about being a business owner and like just kind of comparing the two worlds of like corporate and then like business owner, it's like it makes me a little nervous sometimes, because I think people think corporate's like the enemy. You like corporate's out to like get you and control you and like do all these things to you, and it's like that can happen. Like I'm not saying that's impossible, but there's also a world where it gives you freedom. Like I said, I always thought money could give me freedom, and so corporate also does that for me. Like I can clock out. Oh, that's like the best. Like, oh, just like, walking away at 5 o'clock and being like, I have no responsibility to check my emails. I do not have to like think about it, you know? So I think that distinction was really healthy for me too, because with freelance, like you can be thinking about it all the time. You can be answering emails all the time. You could like, and then your schedule, I love a consistent schedule too. So
me too. I'm such a routine girly.
I'm very routine. So
no, and honestly, that's why I wanted to interview you, because I wanted to flip the script on, because again, sometimes corporate gets a bad rap, and it's like, break free from the corporate chains, but it's like, no, there's great things about stability, about your 401k, about the paid time off, about the getting ready. And again, you're in a great position with the hybrid, so that truly best of both worlds. But there is absolutely nothing wrong with being a corporate girl and killing it and being like, this is actually what makes me happy. I know you people are crazy and want to go do your own thing, and maybe you'll get paid this month, maybe you won't, but it is stress. I just made a video, I haven't posted it yet, about how entrepreneurship is a lot harder. It is not all sunshine and rainbows. 100%. It is not wee-hee, like yay, everything's amazing. There are days where I'm like, man, I wish I could just clock in and make some easy money again. So I get it, but I have learned that either way there's gonna be ups and downs.
Oh, totally.
And so it's just like you got to pick which one that you feel is best for you and your family.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. So that's exciting.
I know. And then to like the whole YouTube thing, I actually started the channel in 2024, I want to say. And I knew it was time because I kept like thinking about it. I had like this long list of things I would film. And I told myself, okay, if I can like make this long list of things, like I obviously want to share something. And so that's kind of where I started. And to your point of like doing everything, it's like I'm not doing social media to like become an influencer. I actually like quite the opposite. Like I just love being creative and like editing and practicing those skills on the side for myself. And then it's also so fun to look back at those memories. Like I love like thinking of all the times I've been like filming, and it's like now I get to like look back on that, and it's like so much fun. And so I think when you're like trying to do it all and like trying to like find a balance, it's like you never have to it's only going to be as serious as you make it. Like, and so that's like kind of where all the things in life can be like that. And that's also where corporate can come in too. It's like when you are so emotionally tied to something, like a job in general, like any job, but when I think that's where a lot of people get in that toxic headspace of like, oh, you know, it's not going well and like it's my fault, or like you trying to put too much emotional like time onto a job, and like that's kind of where things get toxic too. So I also don't think it's always like the company or like the setup of your job. It can be like how you see and perceive things.
100%.
Like, and what you're doing. Like, how serious are you trying to make it? And then that's how stressed out you're going to be about it.
Yeah, that's a great point. It's like, how much are you valuing it?
Yeah.
Are you making it an idol in your life? And if so, that's
exactly.
not your boss's
Yes,
problem. That's
exactly.
your problem. And you have to take a step back and say, okay, I need to regroup here.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot.
Yeah. And that can happen. And it happened to me too. And it's like, I think in all aspects, like with how quickly life goes by, it's like also realizing like, okay, what do I believe in? Like, where does my identity come from? And like, that's a whole, again, it can be applied to any like role you take, freelance or corporate. Like, that's a conversation everyone has to have with themselves.
No, 100%. To separate and be able to, I'm not just my job, or I'm not just my success or my failure. I am, who I am, and I gotta figure out who that is along the way. I'm gonna be changing and growing every year, so you just gotta keep on going.
Exactly.
I know, we love you also seem very self-aware. Like, you know what you're good at, you know what you thrive in, and that might sound like but you wouldn't believe how many women I know that I'm like, why are you not doing this? Why are you not, like, you have this gift.
Yes.
You have, like, even like recruiting people. Back in the day, someone would be like, oh, that person, she's really, Camille's so social, but saying, I have a gift for this, and how can I use this in whatever I'm doing? I think it's so important to take a step back at yourself and look and say, what am I good at? What are my God-given gifts and talents, and how can I use them to serve other people? And I think you seem to be really killing it at that. So congrats.
Thanks. I know, and I think it's the whole like middle daughter energy too of like, it took me a long time to be like, we're all so different, and like that's exactly the whole point. Like, I literally don't have to be exactly like my sisters, and like they don't have to be like me. So all of us have these gifts, like to your point, and it's like it's up to us to like capitalize on those things in whatever way we choose. So when I was sharing, like, I loved public speaking, I became a tour guide at San Diego State. So I would literally walk backwards for like an hour and 15 minutes.
That's so
and
fun.
I would lead groups of like kids and their parents, obviously, of like sometimes like 40, 50 people. And then sometimes I'd have like a one-on-one tour with like a donor. So like really different conversations, but like very professional. And like the way that like led itself into marketing as a whole, oh my gosh, like I can speak now like from a brand perspective, because technically I'm representing the university. I have to talk on their values and like what to sell them, basically, right? And so it's basically marketing. Like, I'm literally doing that now. And so it's crazy to like connect all the different roles I've had in my life and how it actually all has like a common thread. And so it like completely made sense. Like, and thank God I majored in marketing. Like, what if I did something else?
Well, like, one of my girls I interviewed, one of my good friends, she majored in poli-sci, and she has nothing to do with that. So I feel like the door still would open for you. Yes. Because again, those mentors and those people that saw something you would have. Yeah. But and like a big thing that my parents like taught me early on was, because I was like not the best in school. I wasn't failing by any means, but like sometimes I'd have like a B plus and it'd be like a 90.5. And so I would go in and be like, hey, girl, bye.
I'd be like, 80, whatever. What am I saying? 89.
What I'm saying is you were still doing good.
But like I would go in, I'd walk into my history teacher's classroom and I'd be like, hey, like, is there any chance I could have some extra credit this semester? Like, I'm willing to just, I really want to just like round up and da-da-da. And I would like be given something and I would do good at it, and then I would get the extra credit. But my dad always instilled, he was like, well, like the answer is no unless you ask, and also just like ask for help. He like, being from a family of educators, they're like, that's their job. Like their job is to help you as a student. So ask, like go to the professor's office hours and like ask for extra credit or whatever. And I'm like, I was in there. I was like always asking.
You ask not because you have not because you ask not. Yeah. So you took that to heart and you said, I'm gonna ask.
I did.
What else? Your parents seem so awesome. Like, what else did they instill in you that you feel like you have taken with you?
Okay, my mom, which was a little, it could be semi-toxic, so take this with a grain of salt.
For sure.
But if you don't like the way someone's leading something, then you need to do it. Oh. Yeah. Okay. So again, take it with a grain of salt, because like this could be used and applied in so many different aspects, and I don't think it's always like true. But if you are so upset about something, like, oh, I don't really care for the way that they're talking to people, or I don't like the way they're using money, for example, right? Then there's something in you that you could do, you have a solution for, right? So I think that's kind of where she was going with that, is that if it's not like you don't respect them,
No,
respect them. It's like well, you have a skill or you have an idea that might help because this leader is not seeing something you're seeing. So I think that's where I was also always like trying to lead a lot, and I enjoyed that aspect. And that's like where project management was like perfect, because I got to kind of understand people and like what their problems were, and I could propose a solution, and then I could propose how to like make life better for them, work life better for them. So I think that's kind of like, I don't know, maybe like a counselor in me a little bit, like trying to like solve, okay, like why is that a problem for you in your workload? Like tell me, like, because you don't want to do that right now. So like, when can you do that? And when can we get that done?
The problem solver at work.
Get that done.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. I mean, I know I like that. I really like that advice. They said your parents seem very wise.
Yes.
So what a blessing to grow up in that home. I love it.
Yes, it was. For
oh my goodness. And then obviously your parents have had an impact on you, but also you said something about certain mentors and people. Who were those people? How did they help encourage you, believe in you? Tell me about that. Because again, every time I talk to someone, they always say, oh, this boss, this person. There's always someone that helped them or believed in them or spoke life over them, whether it was a teacher or whoever. So who were those people for you? Yeah.
I had a senior, in my senior year at San Diego State, I had a class, and there was a guest lecturer. So my professor brought someone in from the industry, and he spoke like for an hour about his career, how he basically carved his own path, how he is working in Chicago, but he's based in LA. Like he'll fly out for certain days of the month, work there, but be home. And he just created this amazing sales and marketing career for himself. And I thought, I've literally never heard that in my life. Like, I've never heard anyone talking about it. And to your point, like, no one in my life was talking about marketing. So that was the first time I've heard someone be like, I had an idea. I, did really well in my career. Now I'm at this place where I have flexibility to be home where I want to be, but I'm working for this amazing company. And I was so impacted by that. I could not stop thinking about it, because I'm like, wow, like now it sounds doable. Because before, when you're in school and you're thinking, oh, I need a job after this, you really have no perception of what exactly you want to do and what that looks like. And obviously he's further along where he can control the environment of that. But that was the first time I heard someone talking that openly about it. So when I was looking for a job, I knew I wanted to leave San Diego. I was terrified, because who wants someone from California coming to Vegas? Like, I just didn't know that perception. I didn't know what I was getting into. I also didn't want to work on the Strip. So I was like, I just like didn't want to do nightlife. I didn't want to do the industry. And so I was kind of entertaining it a little bit and like having conversations, but I didn't actually like take an interview or anything. But I applied on LinkedIn, whatever. And I was doing all the things, and I started very early. It was January of my senior year, so I still had up until May to finish. And so I reached out to him. I said, hey, this is my goal. I'm trying to go to Vegas. And I was dating my boyfriend, now husband, at the time. And so I was like, I'm going to Vegas. Like, I need help. What do I do? And I went to my career center on campus. They helped a little, but like Aaron is his name. He helped a ton. So that was a guest lecturer, and he gave his email out to everyone. He's like, reach out to me if you like ever need anything, for free. He completely like coached me. He read my resume. He read my cover letter. He taught me how to interview, which is the hardest part, I think, because a lot of people in my younger generation has this disconnect of speaking now with COVID, right? And social media. And I just had this conversation at work, because a lot of new candidates have that difficulty in selling themselves on an interview. So how can you trust them to sell themselves on a weekly call with a client for social media? So it's one of those things where, and also coming from like an Asian background, like living on an island background, like you never talked about yourself very highly, because that like led itself to
more be humble.
Like very humble. You're never saying like your accomplishments. It's like very much like you're a good person, and that's that. Like it's very like character driven. It's not like based off of your success by any means, which is amazing, right, in its own right. But when you're trying to enter the corporate world, it kind of has to be the opposite at first. You have to sell yourself on your successes, what you're really, really good at, what you can give, like what's your gift that you're gonna help the team with. And so selling yourself and thinking of yourself in that way, basically making a sales pitch for yourself. And like he helped me do that. And so the first interview I had, throughout that journey was the job I got. So he literally called me right before that. He helped me to like just ease my like nerves, and it was so uncomfortable to like talk about myself like that at the time, especially like being what 22, 21. Yeah, and like what the heck, what do I have to even talk about, you know? But he's like, no, you have everything. Like you're entering with fresh perspective. You can give them something like from a Gen Z perspective 100%. That they don't know, and like I did exactly that. And so he helped me a ton, and so that really inspires me, because when I'm always like, oh, how can I make a little extra money, I also think about, you know, helping people get into the corporate world and like being generous like that, and not asking for anything. Like I'm there to like help them with their experience and whatever that looks like. So Aaron was so helpful. And then my very first boss, Kyla, she was here in Vegas, was my first boss. She was just so like personable, and she genuinely cared about you. Like, and I think a lot of times you'll have a boss who cares about the bottom line. How are you making money? How are you being productive during the day? And of course that was her priority. But she also literally sat with us and was like, okay, but like, how can we get you to get out of this perspective of like being mad about work, and now how that doesn't like look, you know, that's not healthy for you. So I think for the first 6 months I was like such a people pleaser, and again like the whole middle daughter energy of like trying to like prove myself and like being so liked in a new city, obviously too, right? Like how do I like get everyone on my good side? I want everyone to like me and like take me like to new places and all these things. And it became toxic. And then to the point where I like had that like heaviness like come with me after work. And she saw that and she was like, how do we get out of that? Like, do you just like need a day off? Like what's the vibe? Like how can we get you to just like move past this? So she really helped me to develop those like emotional intelligence really with work, and how to like really differentiate, okay, this is like not my business, I'm not putting emotional energy toward it, that type of thing. And also more on like a practical note, like my papa passed away like freshly into my corporate job, and usually would have like no PTO, but she was like really helpful, and she was so kind about it. So that will always like leave a lasting impression on me. Like how could it not? She was just the best.
I love female bosses.
Yes. Oh, me too.
I usually only work for women because of that reason, to be honest. So I thought it was really cool that a guy helped you out, you know. And I mean, he was open to helping everybody. But what was great about him, it's like when you do find someone who's actually doing something, it does make it more real to you, which is what you got from him. And then with her, you got this actually, you know, empathetic human that didn't just see you as a number. And that, the longevity, if you don't want a high turnover in your business, then you have to care about your people.
100%. Yeah, that's exactly what she would say too.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
It was the best.
It's good to have those people that come along. And Haley actually told me that you love helping college girls that are making that transition, and that you're passionate about that, because sometimes our purpose or these things that come up, it's because we didn't have that, or we did have that, and we want to pass that along. So have you been able to help a few girls with that?
So I'm talking to a girl from church, one of my good friends. She is trying to find a role, and so I've been helping her a little bit with applications, and just like kind of how to like look for something, follow up with applications and things like that. And then when I was featured in the news articles earlier this year, someone DM'd me actually. She's like literally in Florida, and she's like, hey, I applied to like 500 places and like I haven't gotten anywhere. And I'm like, you're intriguing me. How are you not getting anywhere? So I called her. We had a conversation. She's finishing grad school. So I'm like, hey, here's the thing. You're still in school. And that's like probably a big reason why these places aren't going to entertain you right now. So give yourself some time, like finish it up. Like there's practical things that a lot of people are not doing. And it's challenging because again, there's no playbook of like start 6 months before you graduate. Like there's nothing saying that. And I think some people like her will get ahead of herself, and she invested so much time into these applications. She's like, I'm so overwhelmed with the lack of success. And so it's like, no, let's take a step back. Okay, what does your resume look like, and what jobs are you going for? Like there's a strategy to it that you don't have to exhaust yourself. But I went through a job search journey last summer, and it lasted 5 months. I applied to 60 places, and I eventually found my role here at this agency, but I actually mailed my resume out to businesses. And like that's how this whole like fire kind of started, because it was really difficult. And like I was trying to change my industry, I was trying to change my role, so like there was a little, you know, of differences in that aspect. But I found it so difficult, and it's one of those things where Aaron was still helpful to me. Like I still reached out to him in that process, and I thought, you know, a lot of people don't have anyone to reach out to.
Yeah.
So when I kind of thought about that, I like had the conversation with her, and I was like, this can be like great. Like I really have a lot to say about it, and I think a lot of women just don't like know where to start. And then again, like they don't know how to interview, and like there's just little things that people can tweak, and then it'll like lead to something. So that's kind of where this whole like idea came into play. I went to equip her, and I kind of, this is my second year going. Last year with the intention of like freelancing and like try to build that. This year I'm like, well, I'm actually very content in my career. So like I'm here to just learn. And then I like had every intention of just like being there to like listen and like just to have, you know, just to learn and like take in testimony and all these things. And then I was thinking about it, and I'm like, you know what? I don't need money from that. Like I would love to just like have conversations with girls who are interested in corporate. And I think again, like there's just people who like, do I go corporate? Like they don't really know if they should or like what. So I think even having like those conversations too is so helpful, because you need a third person to like 100%. Think about those things.
Yes, you do. You need to these are big decisions.
Yes.
Really big decisions. So that's so awesome that you have a heart for that and a passion for that. That's really amazing. You are amazing. You are awesome. It's been so fun getting to know you.
Yes,
I know.
So fun. Thanks.
Oh my goodness. Well, we're going to wrap up, but my final question is, when you leave this earth, what do you want to be remembered for?
This question can go like so many ways, obviously, but I think being someone who like genuinely sees like potential in people, and someone who can like help guide people to like identify that and like pursue it is really important, because I think that's just like how my life kind of played out. So I think kind of paying it forward for other people would be great. And then also just being like, I want people to feel like comfortable around me. Like I want people to feel like they have community with me. And just that I have that heart for kind of also like meeting people in different seasons too. It's like so interesting, like being in your 20s and like everyone's in completely different like eras right now. So also like trying to meet people where they're at and like being supportive for them, like trying to help them in ways that they need help. And I love, like I have friends now that come to me and it's like trying to like solve a problem, and then, like I love that too. So it's like I just also love like hearing from friends and like trying to like figure things out with them. So I guess like just trying to be that like a reliable like helpful friend and like person that people can come to.
That's good. I love it. Well, I'm sure you will be remembered for that, clearly. For all the nice things Haley has said about you. She sent me this long voice memo about how amazing you are. I was like, I love this. We're going to save this and be like, here, listen to this.
Yes, she's the best.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and your journey with us. I hope a girl comes across this, or if she's struggling with corporate or anything. I mean, where can people find you? I know not to freelance anymore, but maybe they want to ask about career advice or something.
Yeah. So my business account right now is create with Camille. I had every intention of like having that name solely because I knew it could like change in the future. So anyway, create with Camille. I'm currently posting kind of like my work portfolio on there. So I'm trying to be consistent with sharing like agency life, like client wins, stuff like that. So that's like probably the best place to reach me if you're like interested in like corporate chats or just like looking for a role. I love LinkedIn also, so LinkedIn could be a great place as well.
And your YouTube?
Yeah, my YouTube, it's Camille Manaois. And yeah, I just like post vlogs, some work stuff, mostly fun stuff, travel, like just random things.
Awesome. Yeah. Yay. Well, thank you, Camille.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks.